You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years. How you doing today, Trevor?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about you?
Good. Gonna switch things up a little bit today and talk about beagles again, if you don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we got some good stuff to talk about today.
I made some notes. I want to talk about some upcoming events, some of the spring majors that we have coming up, and some other things. But first, before we do that, we have kind of a new exciting thing. It has to do with confirming events for clubs, and that's across the board, be it coonhounds, beagles, cur, feist, and everything. So can we talk about that a little bit? And I think this would be a good time to kind of get that out there. And it's a fillable form that we have for clubs confirming events. You've seen them. We just posted on the website this week.
Yeah. So I think as time progresses, we see a trend towards things becoming more online based and taking out some of the inefficiencies of mailing that we're seeing. It's kind of been a struggle the past couple of years, in different ways. Definitely, we know about the registration struggles that they had. But also in the hunting ops department, getting event reports in a timely manner, getting events confirmed in a timely manner. Those were things that we were dealing with too. And we're working towards a solution towards that. And I think this new confirmation form that we have online that you can find on ukcdogs.com under any of our program forms and rules. So under coonhounds, beagles, cur, feist, whatever kind of events that you're confirming for your club, you find that fillable PDF right there. And I think it's going to be a major help to all our programs.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, it's under forms and rules. We're going to find it. I think they have it right at the top. But if it's a good, clean form, and you can, for somebody that's at least a little bit computer savvy, they'll find it very easy to fill out, and really, you fill that thing out, save it to your computer, and forward it to UKC to a hunting ops email instead of mailing all those things. Should be a lot more customer friendly for the clubs as well, if their corresponding officer has a PC. Anyways, it does not work well probably with a phone. I doubt it, but with a PC, it certainly does.
Yeah, and I think over the past couple of years, we've tried to make that a priority, that at least somebody affiliated with the club, and oftentimes there is at least one person who is efficient and familiar with the emailing process, being able to get on their computer, to download a form, especially one like this that's a PDF that you can fill in as you go and save it and email back and forth. And I think that probably right now some of our stronger clubs are trending that way, to where they're emailing event reports in the Monday after the event. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about a stamp. You can get it done in a timely manner. And now confirming events is just another step in that direction to making everything more efficient and easy.
And very easy. It is very easy. It really is for somebody. Okay, for somebody who's not that efficient with or that handy with a computer, maybe not so much. But for those that are, it is very simple. And not just that, you can fill it out and you can save it. You always have it. You know exactly what you sent to UKC. And the other thing is, for those clubs, most of their events have the same deadlines and same entry fees and things like that. A lot of times on these forms, all you might need to fill out or change or update is the date of the event. Yeah. So we encourage clubs to check it out. And like you mentioned, the majority of clubs anymore these days, they don't mail them in anyways.
Right.
And they call it in.
And that's across the board, not just event confirmations, but like I said, more event reports are coming that way. And now entering our major events that we administer is definitely heading that way. We just had a case of that. We have the Winter Classic coming up in the next couple of weeks. I think we have, close to 600 hunt entries and another 60 show entries. And out of all those, 14 of them were mailed in.
Yeah. So the last confirmation forms that got sent out across the board are for June events, upcoming June events. July hasn't been sent yet. So we aren't actually going to send July, but instead we are going to now send each one of the clubs a list of their remaining dates from July through December. Any clubs that have dates from that time span, we're going to send them those dates along with this form and try to gear them towards confirming their events in that manner. So, and I think it's going to work well for both parties. There's no question. Instead of calling in and you have it documented, you know what it is, we'll save all that, and I think it's going to work well.
Yeah, so, I think it may take a little bit of getting used to for some of the clubs that aren't used to it yet, but I think the main thing is that we're taking a step in the right direction. If you have questions, you can always reach out to us in the hunting ops department, and we're just working to a better solution to an ongoing problem. So.
Yep, and those forms, those completed forms will be emailed to the huntingops@ukcdogs.com email, and that address is listed on the bottom of the form where to send it to. So check it out. A nice, clean, easy form. I love it. Hopefully clubs will start using those. So yeah, with that said, let's dig into talk about some Beagle stuff. First on the agenda, let's talk about some of our upcoming major events this spring for our Beagle programs. And we have some exciting ones. Always an exciting time of the year. The first big event kicks off in February, and that's the Eliminator.
Yeah.
So
so you guys, did you want to mention at all about the Gun Dog National? By the time you listen to this, Beagle Gun Dog Nationals will already be passed. Right, is that February 3rd and 4th in Pontotoc, Mississippi, where it was last year. Obviously, by the time you listen to it, it's going to be over with. But you plan on taking the podcast equipment down and maybe getting some interviews while you're down there.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have some of that to drop from some Beagle Gun Dog stuff from that event. So hopefully you'll hear that in the next week or two, right here on one of the podcasts for sure.
So then getting into the Eliminator end of February, that's kind of when everything kind of kicks off and gets busy around here. But the Eliminator, so this is an event that's held two on both sides of the country, I guess. On that last weekend of February.
It is. You know, we used to have one Eliminator that was held in southern Indiana for years and years, and eventually that club kind of folded down there. That used to hold it, and we decided, we're going to split this thing up and have an Eliminator East and an Eliminator West. So the West is held in Missouri. This year, it's going to have a new home coming up. It's going to be in Ava, Missouri, and hosted by the Douglas County Beagle Club. And then the East is going to be held at West Milford, West Virginia, and hosted by the South Harrison Beagle Club. So we have event ads. You can find those on our website for it. But there's a couple things kind of unique about the Eliminator. All categories compete together in one category. And it's like I said, it's the first major event for the year. It's the first of what we call the Big Five in UKC, annual Big Five. It kicks it off with this Eliminator being the first one for that. So generally, we have some pretty good turnouts, and especially on the eastern side, it seems to draw quite well. But the one thing it does, those cast winners, if you win a dog wins its cast with a score of plus points, it also qualifies it for the World Championship.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the format of the event at all?
Yeah, like I mentioned, they all draw out together. They hunt for 90 minutes in round one, and we have a 1A and a 1B. So that means that I can take two dogs and I can hunt one in round 1A and then come back and hunt my second dog in B. So the deadlines for those, we have the ads and everything on our website. Check those out. But the round 1A deadline is going to be 6:30 in the morning, and round 1B is 11 o'clock a.m. So you don't. This is just enter on the grounds. Entry fees are $30, and we also have a bench show that is held on at 11 o'clock on Friday or on Saturday. And that entry fee is $15. Yeah. But the other cool thing about the Eliminator, we started it last year, was a big hit. We have a junior hunt there for just junior dogs only that are not yet 2 years old. That happens on Friday only. And it's for dogs, any dog that has a birth date of May 1st, 2021 or after is eligible to hunt in that junior hunt. It's kind of a warm-up hunt for a junior national championship later on in the month of April when that happens. But for guys that don't have their dogs UKC registered, you can take them there and bring proof of registration. If you have them registered with another registry like AKC, we acknowledge their registry, bring proof of that, and you can get them registered and jump right in and compete on that same day. So yeah. It's a fun event, February 18th and 19th this year.
Yeah. Then just about a month later, on March 17th through 19th, down in LaFontaine, Indiana, you have the National Hunting Beagle Association Days, right?
Yeah, NHBA Days, and that's our Chartered Breed Association, and that's always a fun one. That's March, so that's number 2 for of the Big Five that we talk about. And they change things up a little bit this year. They move around generally from year to year. They move around. This year they're in LaFontaine, which is about right in between Fort Wayne and Indianapolis, right off Interstate 69, merely minutes, just a few minutes off the highway there. It's at this year. It's going to be held at the La Fontaine Learning Community Building, which is a new location for the host club. The Magenica Conservation Club is hosting it, and that's at 207 North Wabash Avenue in La Fontaine, Indiana. There, the NHBA is, man, they're an outstanding organization. They really are. They have their things together, and just a very solid organization. It's ran by current president is Alan Newby. Their vice president is Kevin Weaver. Secretary is Josh Ware, and then Shelley Davis is their treasurer. But as far as the hunt part of it, like NHBA, most of the hunt part is Josh Ware kind of spearheads all of that and does an excellent job with that. So the events the one thing that's different is they used to have runoffs on Friday, some non-licensed events. But this year, one of the changes is they have Friday licensed events, 2 hunts and a show on Friday, and then 2 hunts on Saturday that are licensed. So if we can just take a minute here, their hunts are all, hunt number 1 is 6:30 a.m., and that's going to be just a hunt 1A, and then hunt 2A is going to be 11:30 deadline. And then they have a show at 6 p.m. on Friday. So those are licensed events. Saturday, same deadlines again, 6:30 and 11. But on Saturday, they have their awards show, and they have the meeting and an awards. They're going to do that in between the 2 hunts on Saturday. So even though their hunt number 2 entry deadline is 11:30, their show or their awards will probably start close to noon. And then once they have all that out of the way, then they'll send the hunt number 2 out to hunt.
Yeah. So you say 1A and 2A, so that tells me there's a double header each day.
It is.
So is there a cap or limit on how many times I can hunt my dog in an event like this?
It is. That's one thing that's different that they have different for, and it has to do with how they name their overall champion. So any dog can enter. So that's 4 licensed hunt. Friday in the morning hunt and hunt 1 and 2, and then Saturday hunt 1 and 2. So 4 total hunts. So a dog may enter in any 2 of those 4 hunts. And it doesn't matter which 2. The owner decides which 2, but only 2. Okay. The same dog can't compete in all 4, but they can pick any 1 or 2 of them, of those 4 hunts that they can compete in or hunt in.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, they have their on Friday they have the show at 6 p.m. Then Saturday they award stuff in the middle of those hunts. But then the other thing that is different is how they determine their winner. They are going to have a championship on Sunday. And that championship is going to be determined. It's going to be 16 dogs. Now, they will split them up in 3 different categories on Friday and Saturday's hunt. So they're going to have registered, champions, and grands hunting separately from each other in 3 categories. But when it comes to the top 16 that they're going to consider for Sunday's championship, it's going to be double cast winners first, but they are going to combine all 3 of those categories. Okay. So in the championship, you will have the registered champs and grands hunting together, but only in the championships, starting with double cast winners scores first, and then followed by single high scores to fill up whatever else they need. So one of the things I'm pretty sure is going to probably come up, and I just spoke with Josh Ware today just to make sure. So a dog that has, in this event, they can actually win their cast with a score of less than a total score of plus points. And that's true for all of the big 5. But in this case, when it comes to eligibility for that championship, a dog that has a cast win score of 0 or less, he is still going to be considered a cast winner. So just to make it, maybe take it a step further to make it very clear, is let's say I have a score of 500 one day on Friday or in one of the hunts. And in my second hunt, I have a score of, let's say, just exactly 0, but I was the cast winner for that cast. I'm going to be considered a double cast winner with a total score of 500 plus. Yeah. And I will, that second cast with 0 is going to still be considered before a single cast winning dog.
Right.
That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yep. And then, 16 dogs on Sunday morning will be down to 4 casts, and then obviously a 4-dog final cast for the second round on Sunday. And that's how they're going to determine their winners.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they have a really good prize package here and stuff. It looks like they also have a bunch of raffles and drawings and such
They
here.
do. That's such a fun event, man. If you've never been to NHBA days, you definitely need to go. Yeah. That is a fun event. A lot of raffles, drawings, and you know, for those that don't normally hunt UKC, you know, the one thing I would tell them, you know, if you want to get your dog single registered, that's fine. Just dog has to be 15 inches or less. Yep. And they're very strict with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that obviously confirm a lot of Beagle events here, even just being familiar with the coonhound stuff, but the NHBA sectionals are a big deal throughout the calendar year, and clubs that host them, they're always large entry events. And is there some sort of obviously there's a points race that finalizes here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, they have their sectional series. They have two different types, just a regular sectional, and there's X amount of points that they offer for that. Then they also have the super sectionals that I think are oftentimes double points. So they decide who gets those. But yeah, at the end of the year, they recognize 8 dogs, sectional winners, have a really nice prize package for them. And they posted those on their Facebook page here at the end of the year. And I have a list of them, and just maybe I think we have time here, just go down through real quick. Their top dog this year is Heat 'em Up Riptide. That's owned by Josh Ware and Braden Neely. He was the #1 points getter and is the winner there. Heat 'em Up Superstar, also owned by Josh Ware. Cody Rucker and Braden Kidd was #2. #3 was Shenango White River Bill, Steve Moore, and Jason Vandergrift. #4 is Rock Bottom Big Mac. That's Alan and Alana Newby own that dog. #5 this last year was Deep River Wild Outlaw Ember. Kristen Bundy from North Carolina owns that dog. Swamp Masters Trump is Don and Eric Gant from here in Michigan. They got in. I know their point series is that's a tough series.
Sure.
And these dogs did a lot of winning this last year. And I know Eric didn't have the top 8 nailed down. He drove all the way from Michigan to Iowa to the Iowa State Championship. I think it was in November. And he ended up getting a cast win or two to make this top list, but that's how competitive it is. And #7, Butler's Lone Ranger. That's Nate and Brock Butler from over here in Homer, Michigan. And then the last year's world champion, Tika, ended up winning. Josh Ware and Mitch Gould are the owners of that dog. Got it snuck in the top 8. So they will be getting all their awards there at NHBA days. And they also have the show series, and the overall winner in the show was Stacy's Mountain Outlaw Popcorn, Jeff Stacy from North Carolina. And then the runner-up is a dog that's has done a lot of winning in our Beagle shows, and that is the World Show Champion, National Grand Champion, Hunting Beagle Champion, Grand Champion, Burke's Little Bit of Mayhem, Angie Vandergriff and Audie Burke. One of the differences you see in some of our Beagles, they are required to hunt, either hunt in the trial on the day of the show or have some cast wins in it before they're eligible. So you see, just like this world champion here, he is also a Hunting Beagle champion in the field. So congratulations to all of those in the top 8 and also there for the show. So yeah, that happens in March for NHBA days, and it's one that I always love because I'm not really involved. I don't have to do anything. I sit back a little bit and just kind of represent, support the association, and sometimes I even get to hunt a dog. So it's always a fun one for me. And on top of that, it's just 2 hours down the road this year.
Far
I like it. Yeah.
Got it.
You should come do it this year.
Yeah, there we go.
Check it out. Yeah.
See what's going on that weekend. Yeah. So the next one's the Clash of Champions. I know a lot of the Beaglers are talking about this. I'm not sure how many qualified dogs you're up to now, but that'll be the next major event on the schedule, right? As a part, it's run in conjunction with the Nationals, Hunting Beagle Nationals, right?
It is, and much like you're very familiar with our Tournament of Champions with coonhounds, this is kind of mirrored after that. The pot isn't as big. It pays out $35,000 for a total purse, $10,000 to the winner. So it's a big deal for Beaglers. Last year was the first Clash of Champions we had, and we had, I think, right around 120 dogs qualified. This year, that number has jumped up to 170.
Nice.
So I love it. Yeah. It's And I think we'll probably see several more. I know there's several more that haven't been on the latest list that I know are still coming, and so that I'll be surprised we don't have another 5 or so dogs on that list. But that is going to be much like you're used to with the Tournament of Champions. Matter of fact, the regions are set up same exact places and same weekend as last year. So that's going to happen on Saturday, April 1st, and any of them that bleed over into Sunday, it'll be the 2nd, obviously, but the same locations other than the one in Indiana. There's going to be 4 different locations, just like last year. They can pick the one they want to go to, and they'll have to enter in advance and decide then, and then that's the one they need to go to. So again, there's one in hosted by the Magenica Conservation Club in Indiana, but their location is going to change to that LaFontaine location, same place as the NHBA days this year. Another location option is in Jefferson, Pennsylvania, hosted by the Waynesburg Beagle Club. Another option is the Creston Beagle Club. Their event will be held again in Mountain City, Tennessee, at the Doe Valley Club there. And then out west is going to be Ava, Missouri will host that one, Douglas County Beaglers. And so they have 4 different location choices there. And if I have a dog that's qualified, has 5 cast wins in 2022, that means I'm qualified for it. I can pick any one of those locations.
Right.
So, yeah.
And those regions are going to be April 1st and 2nd. And then for the dogs that are advancing, they move on to the finals, and that's going to be at NHBA days?
At the Hunting Beagle Nationals, right? Okay, just like it was last year. And we take the top 32 advance to the finals of the Clash. And again, that's based on it's prorated, and last year the biggest region was Jefferson, Pennsylvania. They had a good turnout there. But it's all prorated, so it doesn't really matter where you go. You're not really going to have an advantage, So the more dogs you have, the more more of those 32 they're going to pass on. And the other thing is, again, this year those top 8 in the NHBA days, they get a first round bye in the regions, so that's still going to be true as well. The other thing that's kind of neat, the entry fee is $50 for this, but if you are a member of the NHBA Association, that gets cut in half, and your membership's only your fee's only $25.
There's a little incentive to join the association,
But you needed to be a member of the association in the qualifying year, so that would have been in 2022.
Yeah.
So if you were a member, it's going to cost you $20, and if not, it's going to be $25, and if not, it'll cost you the regular fee of $50.
Probably a good reason to join for 2023 too.
Yeah, so all this information will be on our website, and anybody that is qualified will be getting a letter around the 1st of February when those guys will be getting their letter. The total purse, as I mentioned, is $35,000. First place gets $10,000. Second place is going to take $5,000 of that purse, and third gets $2,500, and fourth gets $1,500. So that's a pretty good chunk out of that. But 5th through 8th, and there'll be 4 of them. 5th through 8th, each will get $1,000, and the 9th through 32nd, those are all the first round non-winners at the finals. They will each get a $500.
Jeez, yeah,
still pretty good.
Make it through the finals on your $50 entry fee. If you weren't a member of the association, you got a pretty good bang for your buck there.
Yeah, so 50 more dogs qualified for it this year, so that's a good thing to see. And again, starting now, we're in 2023, and we qualifying dogs for next year.
That's right. Already working
five
towards
cast
it.
wins. Yeah. Hey, if we have time here, there's it's amazing. Some of these cast winners, we have a list of the males are separated by the females, but I have quickly a list of double-digit cast winners in 2022 is. The number 1 male so far as of the last standings, 21 cast wins.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've seen this type of number back in the old days. Not even close, probably. They didn't have the number of events, and the format is set up different, but so top dog with 21 cast wins is that Heat 'em Up Riptide. Number 2 with 20 is Rock Bottom's Big Mac. Shenango White River Bill has 19. Return of Clyde is a dog out of New York, has 18. 2 dogs with 17. Brook Hollow Cade, he's out of Missouri. Swamp Masters Trump, that's Donnie and Eric Gant we mentioned. 2 dogs with 16 cast wins. 1 out of Iowa here, Jason Unsiger with his Rocky Run Copper Top. And then Nate Butler with Lone Ranger. And then there's one out of Indiana, Opie Blue Past You. That's a youth handler that handles that dog. 14 cast wins for him, and then 2 dogs with 10 cast wins, Sure Shot Ruger out of Missouri, and then Dale Sailing with Sailing's Abe. Dale is kind of new to the sport. He's an older guy, but he's kind of new to UKC, but he kind of came along here in the last year or two. I got to know him. He has a super nice dog. But yeah, congratulations on them. But the double cast winners are all qualified. And there's obviously a lot more, but those are the dogs with double-digit cast wins last year. And that was males. Females is Outlaw Ember, Kristen Bundy from North Carolina, 19 cast wins with that Ember dog. Heat 'em Up Superstar out of West Virginia, 18 wins. 2 dogs with a dozen wins. Copper Top Lightning Legs, that's April Beam from Pennsylvania. And then here's Heat 'em Up CL Tika, the world champion. She also had 12 cast wins last year. Riley Whiting is a dog out of New York, had 11, and then 2 dogs with 10, Briar Patch Tina and D'Agostino's Cold Winter Breeze. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, good year for those folks.
Good, very good year. Yep, very good year. Yeah. And then that leaves us with one more event. That covers our March kind of going into April, and now we're at the Hunting Beagle Nationals.
Hunting Beagle Nationals, April 20th through 23rd at the Muskingum County Fairgrounds in Zanesville, Ohio. I think that's where it was last year, right?
Yep, same place. Last year was the first year we were there, yep.
Yeah, so I know there's some new things on tap for this year's Hunting Beagle Nationals. So maybe hit some of the new things that are going on. First thing is a date change, I noticed right away.
That's the big thing. It moved 1 week later than it has been for years, and we're going to keep it there at 1 week. So that means this year it's going to fall on April 20th through the 23rd. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Thursday, we have some different events. The Clash of Champions on Thursday, just like last year. That's going to happen there. And then the Hunting Beagle National starts on Friday morning. And much like we have, just like we had last year, the only difference between this and NHBA Day, a couple different things, I guess. This is advanced entries. And entries are going to open on March 1st for this. And you don't actually enter a dog in advance. You just reserve an entry. And then you decide what you're going to hunt on that day. Yeah. When you get there, and you can hunt like NHBA, there's 4 hunts. 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. You decide which one of those hunts you're going to hunt your dog.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be actually a little bit easier this year for people that are entering, because I know last year I think you had them writing out entry slips and doing things in spreadsheets, and I heard that it was a little tedious for entry takers and for the people entering the event. But this year we've kind of been working on a system, doing everything computerized through our network here at UKC. We did it at our Autumn Oaks event, Coonhound event, and in the fall. I just used it at a Grand American Coonhound event in January. And I think we got a pretty good setup and ready for this event now, right?
Yeah. So people aren't going to have to fill out anything. They just come up and give us their UKC number, and we can quickly put them right in the system. We'll print their labels for them. Yeah. They do that each day then. Yeah. Now, the only difference is before they might have sat down and filled out everything for their weekend, and they're just going to have to come up and do it on each one of those hunts. But they don't have to do any of the writing. We can do it pretty quickly and pretty easily. Yeah. The other thing that I want to point out that is different. Last year was the first year, so there's some things that we had to try, didn't know for sure how they would work. But I think one thing that we have made changes to last year, if an owner bought an entry, the dog he entered had to be in his name. So that is not going to be the case this year. If you buy an entry, you can hunt any dog you want to hunt. It does not have to have your name on it. And matter of fact, now there's not going to be any refunds for it. And there's going to be up to 120 entries or reservations available for each one of the 4 hunts. So you can get as many reservations as you want, but you're also responsible for those, and there's not a refund for them. But let's say you have an entry that you just can't use. You can give it to me or to anybody else, but it just need to have, if you give it to me, I need to provide some type of proof that you are giving this to me, to the entry takers, that there's no question that you gave me that reservation to use, whether it's a written note or signed off or something, or maybe you're at the event and you bring me up and say, hey, Alan's taking this reservation for me. It'll be pretty simple. It's just more customer friendly, so. Sure, absolutely. And there'll be, I don't know, we'll see. Last year they didn't all fill up to the 120, but I would expect, I kind of expect probably they very well may this year. Yeah. Now, we are going to cut those off at some point, probably a day or so before the event, and we'll have more information leading up to it. But after the entries are cut off or they're shut down or whatever, if we do take any walk-ups, there's any available, the entry fee is going to go up to $60. So it will be a higher fee for a walk-up if it wants those closed and there's still anything available. Yeah, we're also going to have the Junior National Championship again at the Hunting Beagle Nationals, just like last year. That was a big hit last year, and dogs don't need to qualify for it. The only qualification is that it's only open for dogs that are born with a birth date of May 1st of 2021 or later that are eligible for it. Yeah. And those dogs draw together. They can only, the other difference is everybody else can pick 2 of the 4 hunts available. These guys, to run in the national championship for juniors, they have to run either just on Friday morning or Friday evening's hunt, and then either one of those 2 or both, one or both.
Yeah. So I show there's four licensed hunt over the course of the weekend. How does that break down, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Well, there's 120 spots available for each one of the 4. And if I have a dog, I can pick any one of those 4 hunts, any 2 of those 4 hunts that I want to enter in.
So really similar to NHBA
It
days.
is, except for the juniors, like I said, they have to hunt on Friday only.
Right.
But yeah, now we split them up in 3 different categories at the Nationals: registered champs and grands. Okay. But now the junior hunt, those dogs, they all draw together regardless of their category.
Right.
And all first rounds are 90 minutes.
Right. And you'll have two hunts on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and then
correct.
The runoffs will be, is it the top 16 from each category move on to Sunday?
Yep, okay. It is. Yep. So 16 dogs from each category move on to Sunday's championship. Yeah. So for 2 rounds there, obviously 4 casts in each, except for the juniors. There's just 1 4-dog cast for that. So yeah, there again, it's based on double cast wins first, followed by single high cast wins. So yeah, so the big thing there is the date change, obviously. But yeah, there's a lot going on at the Hunting Beagle Nationals. That's a nice facility there in Zanesville. Obviously, we also have an awards banquet that happens on Thursday evening after the Clash finals. We have the bench show that's going to take place on Friday. I believe it's on Friday. No, Saturday. Bench show is on Saturday. But then we also have a kids bench show. We also have jackpots, and the jackpot is anybody that wants to can pay a $10 extra that goes onto the side, and then if that dog was a cast winner, we do 4 drawings for the jackpot. And last year it had a pretty hefty little prize for 4 winners, and worked out pretty well. So, and then obviously we have 3 national titles that we award. They're the bench show winner, the grand division winner, and the bench. And in the hunt, in the grand side, they each get a national grand title, and then also the junior winner you give them a junior national title for it.
Should be a fun weekend.
Yeah, it always is. That's a fun one. It's kind of a long weekend, but it's a fun one. So.
Alan, we both had Dogtra Pathfinder 2s now for a little while. What do you think about yours?
I'm liking mine. One of the things I had the opportunity to now download a map of an area where I did not have service, and I've used it there, and it has worked flawlessly. I love it.
Yeah, I love the crystal clear maps. I love that I never lose reception on my dog's collars anymore. Highly recommended by me as well.
Dogtra Pathfinder 2, the official GPS collar of UKC.
So I know we always love talking about individual dogs and their accomplishments and the major accomplishments they've had. And I think this last segment's going to be pretty interesting for folks who enjoy talking about history, because they got a handful of dogs here that have made history recently. Yeah,
we have the Hall of Fame. That's something new. I think we started in 2020, I guess is when it was. But we have the same thing for Beagles, and what it amounts to is 50 total cast wins to earn that Hall of Fame title. So there's what it amounts to is 37 grand wins. Once a dog's a grand champion, it needs 37 grand champion wins will meet that mark for a Hall of Fame. And when we started it, we wanted it to be something that's not easily attainable. Right. Really, we were kind of hoping for a dog that has won consistently for several years, not just a couple winning years and that's it, And it's really kind of, as we'll see with these dogs that have earned that, we have 5 of them so far, and you'll kind of see that, that they have been winning for up to 5-6 years and winning consistently.
Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of go. I'll introduce a dog, and you can tell us a little bit about what you know.
Let's start with them in the order that they earned them. First ever.
First one to ever obtain the Grand Hunting Beagle Champion Hall of Fame title was Grand Hunting Beagle Champion Hall of Fame, Deep River Firewater Blue Flame. This was a female born in 2015, July of 2015, and this dog was owned by Kristen Bundy and Jeff Stacy of Archdale, North Carolina. The breeder on record was Mark Overcash.
Yeah, this is a dog that's, anybody that runs in our Beagle format, they know Kristen, and she's very heavily involved with the NHBA and just a good hounds woman. She has a lot of wealth of knowledge, and she kind of learned under Jeff Stacy and the Stacys out there in North Carolina, and just an excellent hunter and has some good bred dogs and has done a lot of winning. And Flame was the first one ever, so she will forever be the first ever Hall of Fame UKC Beagle with Flame. This dog was sired by Stacy's Mountain Outlaw Wildman, and the dam is Firewater Sassy. That was one of Mark Overcash's females. But she's not the only one here. This has been a very successful litter, a very prominent litter, and we'll talk about another one here in a minute. But her first cast win, Blue Flame's first cast win, came in March of 2016. She competed in what we used to have the All-Star Series before we changed the format a little bit and did this clash thing. That dog did a lot of winning there in the All-Star Series in her eastern region. She has only had one litter born so far, and that was a litter born in 2020. And I forget, I didn't look up how many pups were in that litter, but there's one that's a Hunting Beagle champion already that Kristen owns. It's a little dog named Miss Independent that she's hunting. But yeah, she earned her Hall of Fame title on February 7th of 2021. First dog to earn it. So congratulations to Kristen and Blue Flame. And I know this dog was so special to her. The dog unfortunately passed away this last year, but little Blue Tick Hound did a lot of winning, and you could tell those two were a team. So a nice little dog, and congratulations to Kristen on that.
Yeah, the second dog to ever obtain the title would have been Performance Champion, World Hunting Beagle Champion, Grand Hunting Beagle Champion Hall of Fame, TNT's 3MC Chief. This was a November 2014 male owned by Trevor and Corey McQuain, and Trevor McQuain is the breeder of record.
Yeah, so you see that birthday to 2014, so that makes the dog about an 8 years old, I guess, at the time here. But there again, the dog just earned it this last year, and this dog has been winning since he was his first win came in February of 2016. So there's just a good example of what we talked about. A dog that has been winning a lot. One of his biggest wins was the World Hunt in 2018. Won the World Hunt in Fairmont, West Virginia. This was a year after Trevor's dog Kane also won the World Hunt back to back. So just a family of dogs that these guys are breeding over there. But this dog is sired by TNT's Cooperstown. That dog was one of the first dogs that the McQuains had. That and the dam, actually, the 3MC Chloe. But the Cooperstown, most beaglers will recognize the name Green Bay Butkus. That's what Cooperstown is off of. And the female 3MC Chloe, they raised a couple litters of pups off of her. She had a total of 16 pups, and they were busy breeding her and raising pups, and they just never trialed her. But they said she was a heck of a rabbit dog as well. But out of her 16 pups, 8 of them are titled. So pretty half of them. That's pretty good. Yeah, absolutely pretty good. So Chief mentioned he's the world champion in 2018. He's also a performance pack champion. So just a nice dog, and he's been around for a good while and needs people that have hunted with him and everything. He's just been a winning dog in UKC. 21 cast wins in 2021 still as an old seasoned dog. 21 cast wins. Yeah. That's crazy. You might think that of a 4 or 5 year old dog, maybe, but him doing it at 7 and 8 still really speaks a lot for what he. But yeah, and then this year in 2022, he had just the 5 cast wins. And I know they're going to slow down with him, but they just basically did that to get him qualified for the clash.
For the clash,
right? Yeah. So and he won the World Hunt in 2018. And then he is now sired 63 pups, and his oldest ones aren't that old. His oldest litter was born in 2018. That was one litter. But he already has several titled pups, I think a total of 5 that are already 3 grands and 2 champions. But the 3 grands, like Ruger, Brian Mudgett's Ruger dog is kind of a well-known dog. He's off a Chief. Hammer and Pink are a couple other dogs that the McQuains have that are grands off a Chief. And then a couple Hunting Beagle champions. Moose on the Loose is one of those, and a little female named Fitzwater's little Sadie are just some offspring of him. But he earned his Hall of Fame title on March 7th of 2021, and that made him the second dog to earn this title behind Flame. So congratulations to Trevor and Corey McQuain with Chief. Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Deserving dog.
The third Hall of Famer is another world champion. This is World Hunting Beagle champion, Grand Hunting Beagle champion Hall of Fame, D'Agostino's Sir Mongo. This is a male born in January of 2015, owned by Owen D'Agostino and Brian Mead of Cross Lanes, West Virginia. This Brian
dog,
Mead is a breeder on file.
Yep, Brian Mead's the breeder here, but this dog, Sir Mongo, is kind of a name that has been synonymous in our program for a bunch of years. And here again, kind of like Chief and Flame, have been winning for a bunch of years, not just a flash in the pan. He's been doing it for his first win came in July of 2015. Mentioned the All-Star Series that used to run back in the day. He was the overall junior national winner. As well as the all age, so he's won a lot there. He's sired by he's off of 2 national grand champions. His sire is National Grand Hunting Beagle champion D'Agostino's Big Brutus Balls, and the dam is another national grand champion, Mead's Outback Hard Pumping Winnie. So he's he's not an accident. He comes from a line of winners, and he's only number 3 here to earn this title only by a week behind Chief. Chief earned his last win to earn that Hall of Fame title a week before Mongo did. So those two have been really some big names in the modern era, I guess, so to speak. But he won the World Hunt in 2020 over in Caldwell, Ohio. Matt Turner handled him there. And he is now the sire of 54 pups that he's currently got on the ground, 11 of which are titled. And again, the oldest ones were born in 2018. And he earned this title on March 20th of 2021. So congratulations to Owen D'Agostino and Brian Mead with Sir Mongo. He's UKC Hall of Fame.
Your fourth Hall of Famer on the list here, Grand Hunting Beagle Champion Hall of Fame, Stacy's Mountain Outlaw Freck. Freck is a male born in July of 2015, owned by Debbie and Jeff Stacy of Thomasville, North Carolina. And again, Mark Overcash, breeder on file. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, and one of the reasons he does, because he is a litter mate to Flame, Kristen Bundy's dog. So two dogs that are in the Hall of Fame out of the same litter, and that's pretty neat. So yeah, born in 2015, so he was the 4th dog to earn this title for us. Stacy's Mountain Outlaw, Wildman's Sire, and Firewater Sassy. But this dog is owned by Jeff and Debbie Stacy, husband and wife out of Thomasville, North Carolina. The interesting thing with him, between him and Flame, not only are they litter mates, they got their first win at the same event on the same day. March trial in 2016 at the same event. They got their first win. Freck was a big name in the All-Star Series, just like Flame was, did a lot of winning there. In 2022, he had 7 cast wins this last year, and he was in the final 4 this last year of the World Hunt. So here you have a dog born in 2015. That makes him about an 8-year-old, I guess, coming 8-year-old, 7-year-old. So 7-year-old still. He was in the final 4 of the World Hunt this last year, so he can still get it done, and it just speaks for the type of dog it takes to earn this title. He earned his first, he earned the title on February 6th of 2022, and they've only got 1 litter out of him on the ground so far that is registered anyways, and that was a litter of 8 puppies, and they were just born here in this last year in 2022. So no winners yet, but I would expect he'll probably pass it on as he comes from a family of winners there. So that's congratulations to Debbie and Jeff Stacy with Freck Hall of Fame.
And the fifth and final Hall of Famer we're going to talk about today, champion, Grand Hunting Beagle Champion Hall of Fame, Shenango White River Bill. Bill is a male, born September of 2015, owned by Steve Moore and Jason Vandergrift of Mannington, West Virginia, and the breeder on record was Vernon Toothman.
Yeah, this dog needs no introduction either in our programs. White River Bill's been around for a while. 2015, same thing there again. And Jason Vandergrift has been hunting the dog, handling the dog here in the last several years again, and just put down a lot of wins. You know, we're talking about a dog born in 2015, 2022. This hound had 19 cast wins.
Wow. Yeah.
He is a seasoned veteran that can get out there and get it done. And I can tell you, if you go out there, he's not a fun dog to draw. I mean that with all. That's a compliment.
That's a compliment.
That's a compliment. You know, he's tough to beat. He's got a lot of foot, and he's a wild man. I don't know. He's a hard hunting dog, and I think Jason will tell you he's oftentimes the last dog that to call back in. Because he's kind of been known to be a dog that's kind of hard to catch, and he's got one thing on his mind, and that's just hunting, I guess. But anyway, he is sired by his sire, needs no introduction either. That's Shenango Trigger, who is still the #1 current reproducer in UKC and is the #2 all time. And the dam was White River Double D, like you mentioned. Vernon Toothman was the breeder, but his first win came in June of 2017. And he earned his Hall of Fame title in June of 2022. So, and he earned that up in Pennsylvania. It is at that last trial. He is. They bred him a little bit. He currently has 24 puppies registered in UKC. 8 of those are titled. There's some dogs out there very recognizable that are solid hounds out there right now. The Raptor dog that Maurice Frazier's hunting's off of him. Chad and Alvis Smith have about 3 of them off of White River Bill. Pedro, here comes Pedro, and Super Susie, Macy May are 3 of those that are off of him. There's a Hurricane Jake dog that Robert Kusish of West Virginia owns, and Little Bill, Roy Sampson in West Virginia has Little Bill, and then Jake Cumberland has another one, a female named Bella. Those are all off of Bill, and we'll probably hear a lot more from those dogs. But so Steve Moore is the first owner on Bill, and he's going with Jason Vandergrift. Bill McFarland and Steve Moore used to be partners back in the day, and this is one of the dogs that they had together, and so congratulations to Steve and Bill, Hall of Fame dog.
Hall of Famers.
So yeah, so that's it. That kind of wraps up our 5 covering the 5 Hall of Fame dogs that we currently have, and but yeah, so we're looking forward to all the major events coming up this spring. Is always an exciting time of year. It seems like the first half of the season is always the most exciting. You know, at the end of the year we have have a couple of major events, the McVeigh Memorial and the World Championship, that kind of close out the year in the fall as far as majors go. But we kind of covered the first 3, I think, for this spring, and looking forward to it. It's always a good time if you're a beagler. Thanks for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and to like and follow UKC Hunting Ops on Facebook and Instagram.